Doesn't it seem impossible that Apple, a tech company, can beat the world's most sought after fashion brands and retailers at their own game? That's right, Apple makes more money per square foot in its physical retail stores than any other brand in the world. Much more than other tech and electronic stores, even more than the most successful premium retailers like Harrods, and even more than the highest priced luxury brands like Louis Vuitton and Hermès. But that's not all. They do this whilst defying every single business rule that we know for optimizing efficiency and profitability in retail stores. They rent out the most expensive real estate right next to luxury stores like Chanel. Their shops are massive. They are typically much larger than shops around them. And they don't even fill the store with a lot of products to boost sales. They put massive long tables with like 3 iPads on them. And finally, if this wasn't enough, they don't even let you actually buy their products if you walk into the store. You have to book an appointment in advance and wait in line at the store, which takes up like half your day. So how is the company that spends too much, has very large stores and doesn't let you buy products, actually make more money per square foot than any other retailer in the world? The answer is because they have a secret system that's tricking your brain every step along the way until you spend as much money as you can at their store. I've tried to summarize the system into 5 steps, and the first one is creating the fear of missing out, or FOMO, in your mind. Now, to understand this, start by asking yourself, have you ever seen people just walk by an Apple store and not even notice it? For starters, the stores are a massive glass structure with a big white recognizable Apple sign outside that make them literally impossible to miss or ignore. I mean, the Apple store itself is a tourist attraction in many cities. I mean, the one in New York has a 30-foot glass tube that has an escalator coming up through it. The one in Singapore is this giant glass dome which is like floating on the water. They're pretty insane. Now, this glass all over makes sure that people can see exactly what's going on inside. And given that the stores always seem full and they have long lines outside, they put a little voice in your brain which says, wow, what is this? What's happening inside? Everyone seems to be in there or want to get in there. I mean, there's no metric to measure this, but I'll take a bet that Apple stores have the most number of people in the store who never plan to actually go in there. Okay, so now you're inside and the most surprising, the most counterintuitive thing possible happens. You ask someone if you can buy a product you like, and they say no. They tell you that you need to book an appointment in advance and then come back. Wait, what? Why would a company say no to people who are willing to spend their money right there and buy a product? Well, that's because of step 2, which is creating desire via scarcity, which is also known in behavioral science as the scarcity principle. Behavioral economists have found that people tend to place a higher value on things which are scarce or harder to obtain because this makes them inherently more desirable. This tendency can be attributed to our fear of missing out or our innate desire for social validation or proof. We always want what we can't have, or what everyone else wants and is really hard to get. Now, this isn't a new principle, it's a well-established one in the luxury fashion world. For example, you can't just walk into an Hermès or a Goya store and buy a handbag. You need to book an appointment, stand in line for at least an hour, sometimes more, and even then, if you get in, they may not let you buy it. You have to build a customer profile and a loyalty with the brand, and they might ask you to start that journey by allowing you to buy, and if you're lucky, they might just allow you to start that journey by buying an entry-level product like a Goya card holder. Now, this sounds like a process that should dissuade people from wanting to buy these things, but somehow every time they make something harder to buy, people only want it more. And Apple is using the same principle. They come and you make an appointment to come back and buy the product, and you do because you kind of want it now. Now, once you're in the store, it feels nothing like a tech store. It feels more like a luxury apparel store again, just like the ones we talked about. But there's a problem. This luxury fashion store format doesn't work for technology products, right? Technology products are more commodity, lower priced, and not a luxury premium product. So Apple solved that problem with step 3, which is creating a premium luxury perception of their products in customers' mind. But how? Well, in a few ways. First, they place very, very few products on a very, very large space. They might have only 2 or 3 iPads on a large wooden table with tons of space between them, so that people look at it and think, oh wow, if this product deserves this much space in such an expensive large store, it must be very valuable. just like an Hermès bag. Second, they make sure that you know it won't lose value. Just like a luxury handbag, which never goes on sale and the resale value of it is pretty high, they make sure the customer knows that an Apple product is worth a lot and it's going to stay that way. We only release one version every year and the price is rarely if ever discounted. Now, this isn't the norm in the tech industry. In contrast, it's almost accepted that a new Samsung phone or Google Pixel phone will go on sale even within a few months of releasing it. It's almost good practice now to wait for 2 or 3 months because you know you'll get a discount. For example, I bought my Pixel 9 Pro Fold at a massive £400 discount within 3 months of it launching. Amazing phone, by the way. I'll leave a link to the review right here. But not Apple. They make sure that you realize that this is a premium product and it's not going to go on sale. They want this philosophy so deeply ingrained that they'll promote it not just to you and me, which are the customers, but also internally inside the company to their own staff. Oh, I'm sorry, they never call them staff or employees. They call them Apple specialists. Even the non-technical staff members are called specialists. Now, calling everyone specialists versus calling them staff obviously increases the premium perception of the role itself. The employees there feel like a cut above the rest at Radio Shack or a John Lewis or a Chroma. And this premium perception of themselves once again spills over in their interactions to the customer. And by the way, this specialist thing is not just some cringe made up name like Subway's sandwich artist. I mean, come on, they're stuffing fake cheese and meat in fake bread for a £2 sandwich. Doesn't take a lot of art, I guess. But an Apple specialist is helping you decide between a £1,000 and a £2,000 laptop. And I'm sure you'll agree that feels like something you need help from a specialist for. By the way, not just anyone can get a job as an Apple specialist. Their acceptance rates are just 1 to 3%, which is even lower than Harvard Business School. Okay, so now you have the desire, you're in the store and everything looks premium. How can Apple make sure you actually buy something? Their secret trick to this is step 4, where they make you feel like you already belong. First, they make sure that you engage with the product. Every Apple product is always presented fully charged, fully loaded with software and pictures and videos and music and everything you need to actually engage with it. They think about details as tiny as the angle of the screen the laptop is set to, which by the way is 76 degrees as per the Apple handbook. Now you might wonder why 76 degrees? That's a bit too much to be comfortable to read, right? It's because they want you to go over and touch it and adjust it to an angle that's comfortable for you. And in that one small moment, they've already made you feel a little bit more like it's already yours. And by the way, in that store, no one's ever going to rush you or hound you to quickly make a purchase. They want you to feel like this is your space and your product. In fact, the specialists are instructed to never touch the product whilst you're using it, so it doesn't make it feel like it's shared or any less personal. They'll talk to you about it, they'll point at it and describe it, but they'll always make sure you're the one using it. And not just one product, they want you to experience the entire Apple ecosystem. Even if it makes them no money, their objective is to make sure that you relate to and fall in love with the brand and the experience, and then they trust that you'll come back for more. For example, Apple holds free classes and sessions on things like photography in its store. Free! In one of the largest, most expensive stores in the city, they carve out a place to give things away for free. Makes no sense, right? But it's all part of the immersive experience of Apple. Which brings us to the final step 5, locking you in to spend today and come back to spend more tomorrow. Let me explain with an example. Let's say you went into the store to buy an iPhone. You read online that it costs $799 a pound and it's just about in your budget and makes sense. But once you're in the store, you play around and realize that, oh, there's 128 GB of storage on that one, and which might run out quite quickly, so you should probably upgrade to at least 256. The price difference is small. It's just another $100 a pound or 10 to 15,000 rupees. Not a lot, right? And as you walk down the table and see the other beautiful iPhones already playing movies on their larger screens, you think, that looks quite nice. It'll be better for watching stuff on the go if I get one with a bigger screen, and it's just another $100. And then the Apple specialist talks to you a bit about the phone and says, look, these are expensive products, so you should probably get Apple Care Plus for another $129 to make sure you have extended warranty. Oh great, you say, will that also cover my phone in case I lose it or it gets stolen? Not really. The Apple Care Plus doesn't cover that, but there is an upgraded Apple Care Plus for just another $50 over the $129. And before you know it, you've spent almost $1,200 a pound on a $799 purchase you were planning to make, which is almost 50% more. And it doesn't stop there. You go home and soon realize that your old earphones used to work well and sound pretty good, but somehow now they don't feel as great to take calls. They have to be manually connected to the iPhone with Bluetooth every time. Yeah. So you go and check some YouTube reviews and everyone agrees that even though from a pure sound perspective, many other earphones like the Sony or the Bose are actually great, but if you're an Apple user, you should just get the AirPods. They just work like magic. And they do. I have a pair right here. And I love them, but the stuff that's great about them are not some unique features that only Apple can make. It's features that Apple restricts other companies from making for their phones. Like the W1 chip that lets you detect them as soon as they're nearby and you flap the lid open, or the deep integration for Apple AI and Siri, and so many other things just magically make them work. And this formula in the Apple ecosystem repeats itself again and again. If you need a watch, it has to be an Apple Watch. If you need a tablet, then of course you should buy an iPad. And by the way, I'm not saying this is a bad thing. The products are great and they work very well together. They just never work as well with non-Apple products, which makes you buy Apple products again and again, each time getting more and more locked in to their ecosystem. And before you know it, you're now a fully integrated loyal member of the Apple ecosystem who will probably never buy a non-Apple product if they can help it. And this is the system that Apple have used to great effect, and it's since been copied several times by other tech companies. But wait, what do you think of the Apple retail experience and what secret steps that I miss? Let me know below, and thank you for watching. Do support a small creator like me if you enjoyed the content, and I hope to see you in the next video right here.